Hey everybody, Jay and Nick, we're back from Pacific Northworst Grand Prix at the Ridge. The Ridge. Now, my favorite thing about this race was we started it on Saturday and only about a third of the cars actually showed up to take the green flag. I love a relaxed field. It makes me very happy to see that people aren't all aggro. Eventually, within 30 minutes, everybody was out there, so that was pretty good.
All right, Silver Sleeves Racing, great bunch of Canadians. They bring the three Austins, the Land Crab, the Woolseys Hornet, and the MG
1100, something like that.
Anyway, they had this dream. They were going to go 1, 2, 3 in Class C, just like the Ford GT40s at Le Mans with the photo finish right across the line.
Which, had there only been 3 cars in Class C, they might have accomplished.
Well, it wasn't that far off because 2 out of those 3 cars had already won Class C. To the point where the judges were like, we're not putting those 2 cars in Class C, they're too good, especially that Woolseys Hornet. And so they
hear every day.
They struck a compromise where those 2 cars, the Land Crab and the Woolseys Hornet, they can be in Class C, but they each get 35 penalty laps, figuring, okay, that'll maybe crush their dreams, but at least it'll be fair for everybody else in Class C. Well, that didn't work out because the Land Crab immediately erased that deficit and cruised to Class C victory. But their dreams of a 1, 2, 3 were squashed by the fact that the MG 1100 would just stop running for stretches at a time for no reason.
They all do that. Super hella sweet was Salty Thunder Racing. They brought their 2 Fieros, and what I really loved is they made this poster.
Now, Fieros being Fieros, one of them did catch fire in practice on Friday, and so they spent most of the day and night Friday replacing all of the wiring to get it ready for Saturday, which they did, and they ran on and off throughout the weekend.
And then they won, right?
No. We see a lot of Back to the Future DeLorean themes and lemons. This one was actually pretty well done. It was a Mustang. They used wood technology. Now, you guys may remember last year, the Maple Bacon Caprice team. These were a couple of kids from Canada, and last year they had everything go wrong that could go wrong. Half of their team flaked out.
This was a team of 4.
Their propane-powered ramp truck had some problem once they got there, and the Caprice itself, despite having like 6 moving parts, they couldn't get it to run properly.
Right. Well, this year, exactly the same. Well, actually, that's not true. They had a different propane-powered ramp truck. This one was a little bit stretched so that they could have a molestation cot in the back. It was one of the scariest things we've ever seen. Too far! But otherwise, everything wrong, exactly the same.
Okay, there was a team with an E36 BMW, and they brought the Craigslist ad for the car, and it was owned by some drifter, and it was modified for drifting. And thus, it was worth nothing, but they figured, hey, maybe it's got performance parts on it. And it turned out one of the performance parts that it had, which I didn't realize this, but for drifting, occasionally you will swap in an 8-to-1 dump truck rear end that gives your car somewhat of a limited top speed, but gives it more grunt for burning out and drifting. And the downside of that when you're road racing is this is what your car sounds like when it's going down the front straight.
There was a hella sweet team with a Sriracha theme. They even had their fuel jugs were like green and red. That was all well and good. Now, there was only one full course yellow this whole weekend, and it was simultaneously one car burst into flame.
Yeah, crispy crackle at turn 6.
Then another car burst into flame.
Got a double sparky spark. Dispatch the hose monster.
Then another car oiled down almost the entire track.
Gonna need the Broom Badger 1300. Got 1,000 gallons of fry oil between turn 4 and turn 13. Driver's left.
And then right in the middle of that, you had the Scirocco was driving along, and the wheel fell off and flew into the weeds.
Wrecker, got a Sriracha situation. Turn 1. It's a no-lug, clanky-clank. Send Shannon with a Galileo. Bring a bag of dilithium crystals.
The heroic fix went to Mr. Sparkle.
Mr. Sparkle!
These guys were so hopeless. Failed tech inspection. Shifter broke after failing tech. Couldn't move out of the tech shed. Spent all day fixing kill switch. Finally got the car through tech. Car made 0 laps before it had to be towed in. Pretty much standard for these guys.
Mr. Sparkle! Uno yo besto wahoo!
I got screwed went to our friends at King Henry VIII and their purple Chevy Nova.
Yeah.
Now, by King Henry VIII standards, they ran like a totally flawless race, and at any other event, they might have actually won Class C. And the problem here is they totally got stomped by Silver Sleeves Racing in all of their Austins and also a Toyota Previa. They got screwed.
The special award was the Danny Trejo Dang That Guy's Everywhere Award. This went to the Camaro Islanders because they're everywhere and they're always really entertaining.
Peter hit me on the nose with a football. I can't go to the dance like this.
Well, I'm sure it was an accident, sweetheart.
An eye for an eye. That's what Dad always says.
I never said that, honey.
Shut up!
Judge's choice went to Bat Out of Shell in their Nissan 720 mini truck. Now, this was purchased by the team captain. For some reason, he just wanted like a regular truck, but he decided to buy
be a
this
daily
one.
driver.
It was like a lowered mini truck that was two-tone yellow and green. And when it turned out to be the worst daily driver ever, he said, hey, let's make it a Lemons car. And the yellow and green paint scheme really lent itself to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga Dude theme that they then applied to it. The whole thing was great. It was butt slow. Judge's choice.
All right, organizer's choice went to Low Road Racing. Now, you may know them from their Milwaukee's Best Sunbird and their Rainier Beer Mustang 2. This time, they brought the first third-generation Corvette ever to be in Lemons, and it had a six-cylinder BMW engine swapped into it. Now, obviously, a lot of people see this and they say, well, I don't think that's a $500 car. There is no way. And I don't know. I mean, I think we got to do the math on this
Normally,
thing.
we just kind of poo-poo those kinds of things.
Yeah,
I think we're going to
they
add
might
it up
have a
this time.
point
You
here.
know, I have the price guide right here.
Yeah.
Corvette Michaeline!
Yeah, it says here that 1976 Corvette found in a field covered with rat turds, $72,000.
Yeah, well, that sounds about right. And I pulled up the Copart numbers for BMW engines. This was a 2.5?
Yeah, 325i.
325i, 2.5 engine, 225,000 miles on it. That's a $31,000 motor right there. So, you know, it's adding up.
So paint counts towards the $500 cap.
Right, yeah, exactly.
He used 122 cans of Rust-Oleum at $2.76 a can.
Yeah.
That's $336.72 in paint.
And then there's the labor. I mean, the guy, he's a software engineer.
Yeah.
He's making at least $185 an
Yeah,
hour,
and
at least.
he was really pulling late nights on this.
Right.
That's
80 hours a week, something like that.
for about 4 weeks.
Right.
That's $59,200.
Right.
Add all of that together, it's $162,536 and 72 cents.
Yeah, that is way more than $500. So you guys are right.
Internet guys were right.
Yeah.
Index of Effluency was a momentous occasion for me as a fan of this vehicle. I've been waiting to see one in Lemons. This is the first one to show up. I think it's one of the top 10 cars of any kind ever made. I'm speaking, of course, of the Toyota Previa. The team running it was Transcontinental Drifters.
Yeah.
And this is the team, you know them from having built the Jagvair, which of course is a Corvair body atop a Jaguar XJ chassis, which is a car we were dying to give the index of effluency, except that it never
just
really
never ran. No
and
surprise.
so they decided, you know, let's get this Previa, let's turn it into El Camino, because why not?
Because you do.
And they actually didn't really have high hopes for this thing. It was stock, it had 1 million miles on it. I heard that they didn't even fill up their fuel jugs because they didn't think the thing was going to make it to the first pit stop. Man, 14 hours of racing later, the thing had just run like a train. So it finished 25th overall. It was just a tour de force of, once again, one of the best cars of all time.
And it had the mysterious, organically occurring Previa factory whistle tubes. All of these cars, when they get out to a certain amount of high mileage, nobody knows why, they just start having whistle tips.
Yeah.
This one totally had whistle tips. So awesome.
My parents have owned one of these cars since new, and right at about 215,000 miles, my mom is driving down the street and
the whistles go woo!
Here's Lemons in a nutshell.
Wait, what is it?
It's so hot in here.
Gathering the Juggalos and the Nelson Ledges Lemons experience, I think, had a lot of similarities. The Venn diagram, you know, had a lot of
totally.
intersection in the middle. What was your assessment of it?
This thing's terrible.
Leaving on the midnight train. Woo, woo. Oh, no, he won't. Oh, yes, you will. The best backup laugh. Hey! Going back to five. Going back to five. Oh, yes, he is. Woo, woo.